In this video, I'm going to show how to best set up the asset browser in Blender to work with PBR Painter. As I've demonstrated in a different video looking at importing materials, using the asset browser you can very quickly access and import any of your materials directly into PBR Painter. So for example, we can import this bricks material and we can import the layers from that because it's a PBR Painter material. And I can have direct access to that material directly within my PBR Painter material in here. So this lets you mix and match materials by just directly importing them into your current working material. So super valuable, and this video is going to cover exactly how to set this up so that you can start building your own PBR Painter material library. The first step to doing this is to go to Edit and Preferences, and then under Add-ons, find your PBR Painter installation, open it up, and within these preferences, you'll see there is a setting that says Assets Directory, and this is where you'll be saving all of your PBR Painter assets. So at the moment, I've got this in a folder called Assets, and I'm just going to open that up. And I've got all my PBR Painter materials down here within this PBR Painter folder. And this is the first point to note of this directory, is that we'll also find these subdirectories as well. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to create a new folder called Assets 2, and I'm going to set this one up as my PBR Painter assets directory. And when you do this, what actually happens is that PBR Painter will set a library within this file path tab, and it will create a new library if it needs to and call that PBR Painter, and it will also set that down here within the assets tab. If you don't see this in here, you can just select it from this drop down. You can select the library as PBR Painter, and if you need to, you can click refresh to update that library. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to start populating that with materials. And as of Blender 4.2, which is the current version that I'm using, the way to do this is to save a new blend file within that assets directory. So I'm going to go File, New, General, and I'm going to save this file directly into this brand new assets folder that I've created. And you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it PBR Painter Assets. And now what's going to happen is that any material that I create in here and that I mark as an asset, which I'll go through, is going to then appear in this asset browser anytime I'm using Blender. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to create a new material using PBR Painter, and I'm just going to add a couple of random layers. I might give it a color just so we can identify it. So something like that should be fine. At this point, when you're happy with your material, all you need to do to save it as an asset after you've renamed it, so this might be something like example material, you just need to right click the material here or anywhere else where you can select the material and click mark as asset. And what that's going to do is, as you can see, is it now brings it into the asset browser. Within the asset browser itself, you can create different categories to store your materials, but I'm just going to leave it there as it is for the sake of the video. And the final thing you need to do is just make sure you save this current blend file. Okay, so now that I've got that in there, now what's going to happen is when I create a new file, as you can see, it's now stored this asset browser material, so that if I want to access this material, all I need to do is right click, PBR Painter import, and now I can use all of the different import tools that are available within PBR Painter, which again I've explained in a separate video. And now I can have access to that material anytime I need it in any of my scenes. And as you can imagine, this kind of integration with PBR Painter is extremely powerful, and it's a way to let you really take advantage of your libraries and to be able to build them over time and to really take advantage of this reuse of materials and layers and masks and things like that. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope it was useful, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Cheers.